I have some herbs to boost my immune system. I don't know anybody alive today who's got a perfectly functioning immune system. And if you really want to not get sick in this world, you really need to help your immune system, because we're surrounded by toxic chemicals which interfere with our immune system. I take and I take a lot of hormonal adaptogens. I think again hormonal adaptogens are things which adaptogens are products which, if things are low, they will increase. If things are high, they will bring down. So hormonal adaptogens helps maintain a healthy level of hormonal balance. And I take some herbs to increase my metabolism. I also take some supplements to keep me alive. I take the supplements to keep me alive and healthy, because if I'm sick and tired, then I don't get to do the stuff that I want to do to live my purpose. And to me, that's a very spiritual thing. For me, spirituality is living the purpose in your life that you're here for. Some of the supplements I have fish oils, and obviously everybody in this room should be taking some sort of omega-3 supplement. I take fermented cod liver oil. Fermented cod liver oil, I think, is very important for all of us. One, it's very high in fish oil, the omega-3 fatty acids. 2, it's very high in vitamin A for immune system. 3, it's high in vitamin D. And 4, anyone else know what the other one it's very high in? Which is critical for cardiac patients. It's very high in vitamin K2. Now, vitamin K2 is an extraordinary vitamin, and drug companies are fighting over vitamin K2 now to try and make it into a drug. But vitamin K2 takes the calcium from your arteries and returns it to your bones. We want to have hard bones, soft arteries, but everybody's got hard arteries, soft bones. So the fermented cod liver oil gives you those 4 things. It's an extraordinary product. I take a lot of medicinal mushrooms, and my talk was originally going to be on medicinal mushrooms, but I really wanted to broaden it. The medicinal mushrooms are mushrooms which have been around since the dawn of time. In fact, when you see, I'm going to talk a lot about topsoil, certainly, and one of the really only reasons that we're alive on this planet is because of medicinal mushrooms. The medicinal mushrooms came out of the sea, and what they did, because they were a fungi, the fungi converted the rock into topsoil. If you didn't have the fungi came out of the sea onto the land, and they took the rock from the land and turned it into topsoil, which then allowed plants to develop, which then changed the atmosphere. So without some of these fungi and their mushrooms, there would be no life on this planet. And I always talk to people, some people say, well, some mushrooms are bad for you. Look, there are, and I always tell people about the Transformers movie. With the Transformers movies, you know, we had the Autobots, which came to Earth to protect us against the evil Decepticons. And there are a couple of really, really powerful mushrooms, reishi mushroom and chaga mushroom, which are incredibly immune stimulating and are also phenomenally anti-cancer. And really, if you want to make sure that you don't get cancer, you want to make sure that your immune system operates optimally, you've really got to find a way to incorporate some of the noble mushrooms, the medicinal mushrooms, in your diet or your supplement regime. And reishi, chaga, shiitake are probably the 3 most important ones. As I said, you know, history has shown that the species which most closely associates itself with the medicinal mushrooms is the most successful. And one of the reasons we have become so successful is our ability to associate ourselves with the medicinal mushrooms. In fact, the largest organism on the earth is not a whale, but it's actually a fungal organism, which is somewhere in the US. It's 2,000 acres big. It's a mycelial organism underneath the ground, and it's a phenomenal substance. They're actually been shown to produce a huge array of pharmaceuticals, which they use to protect themselves against the bacteria and the soil, which is trying to destroy it. I take some herbs. I take colostrum. Anybody here taking colostrum? There should be everybody in this room taking colostrum. You know, there was a medical study which came out. Everybody knows what colostrum is. So when you have breastfeeding, the first 6 hours of breastfeeding is colostrum. Then you get first milk, and then you get breast milk. So the colostrum is designed to give the baby all the immune factors it needs to survive for the first 6 hours. And bovine colostrum from cows is particularly powerful because humans, babies, get some immune system across the placenta, but cows get nothing. And so they're completely reliant on the colostrum to keep it alive initially. There's a study which came out a couple of years ago showing that colostrum is 3 times more effective than the flu vaccine in preventing the flu. Why anybody would want to inject themselves with formaldehyde, mercury, aluminium, and some pus to protect the flu, I have no idea, when they can take something which is not only going to boost their immune system completely, but it's also going to give them growth factors to keep them strong as well. They did a study recently in a childcare centre where they gave half the children colostrum and they gave the other half a placebo. And after a while, the mothers in the study realised which kids were on colostrum because they weren't getting sick and the other kids were. And there was kind of a revolt and they had to stop the study because all the mothers said, hey, we want out, we want our kids on colostrum. It is that powerful. Some minerals and sunlight. It's bizarre these days that I have to put sunlight down as a supplement. Somebody came to see me the other day and they said they went to a skin cancer check place and told the doctor there that I had told them to go out and get some more sun. And the doctor had said that was incredibly irresponsible of me. The Americans did a calculation recently, and they found that last year 4,000 people died of too much sun and 135,000 died of not enough. Now with the studies we've done on vitamin D and how powerfully anti-cancer it is, and good for your heart, and good for your immune system, and the number one thing to keep your immune system healthy is vitamin D. Every person in Brisbane and Queensland, which probably has more sun than anywhere else in the world, is just about all of them are low in vitamin D. The damage that we're doing to ourselves by staying out of the sun far and away exceeds any problems that you get from increasing your sun exposure, and particularly our children. It's very important we get them out in the sun. The data now on multiple sclerosis and preventing multiple sclerosis with vitamin D is overwhelming, and the most important time to get vitamin D to prevent multiple sclerosis is when you're young. Right, now I quickly want to get, so that's some of the things I'm doing, and I'm going to talk a little bit later on about what I'm doing at my home as well.